From the Culture War Encyclopedia, Dungeons and Dragons goes woke and broke. This video is based on an entry in the Culture War Encyclopedia with all the citations, proof, links, images, embedded videos, and so on. See the one link below to go to the Culture War Encyclopedia. Please subscribe and watch it grow as I add entries and updates. To go to Just in Trouble on Substack to get my written reports, please subscribe to that too. So subscribe to us on alternatives, see that one link below for all of that, and to donate if you will. Let's get Tabby on webcam for her gaming channel for funny, sexy, culturally offensive commentary from Tabby there, and on my channels. You all have been demanding it, so let's get her on camera again. Here we go. Donate if you will, and also subscribe to her channel. Now for the main event. Dungeons and Dragons, D&D goes woke and broke from the Culture War Encyclopedia. Dungeons and Dragons D&D is a fantasy role-playing game, or RPG, that has existed for decades. It involves dice, maps, pencils and paper, sometimes miniatures, and lately they have been developing an online version of the game. Players can create characters and role-play those characters in a setting created and directed by the Dungeon Master. Various kinds of dice are rolled in the game for a healthy dose of unpredictability. There you see a photo of what a game might look like. Much of the fun for players is in creating their character's role and race in the game. Your character could be a fighter, a magic user, a thief, and so on. Your character could be of the human race, of the race of elves, of the race of gnomes. It's your choice, and it's fun to roleplay as another race or as a member of the human race. Here we have a picture, a still shot actually from Futurama. That's the episode where they had Gary Gygax as a character. Gary Gygax is the creator of Dungeons and Dragons. Notice that there is only one human race in D&D, and it's been that way since the game was created in the 1970s. Let me hover over the footnote, according to Britannica. Furthermore, you can choose for your character to be interracial, that is to be half human and half elf, half orc and half human, and so on. At least you could choose to be interracial until now. Now they self-flagellate and promise to be, quote, diligent in extracting past prejudices, stereotypes, and unconscious biases, unquote. Hover over the footnote there. Though there is only one human race in the real world and in D&D, they now consider race to be a, quote, problematic term. After decades of fun, it seems the company behind the game, Wizards of the Coast, they are called, has gone woke and broke. I'm not just repeating a phrase here. Reportedly, they have in fact been going broke, and they have in fact gone woke. In what has been called, quote, their latest step forward in their long march to lost profits, unquote, they have decided to ruin the game in the name of woke, progressive, social justice. According to a report by Bounding Into Comics on April Fool's Day, no less, 2023, quote, this forthcoming update was first announced publicly at the recent D&D Creator Summit, an event wherein Wizards of the Coast gathered a number of notable personalities ranging from game developers to content creators and provided them with a sneak peek at Dungeons and Dragons' upcoming releases, unquote. Now, we'll return to that. It seems that the company has been going woke and broke for some time before this latest self-destructive move, as an April 3rd, 2023 interview with Cale Stutzman, quote, game director at Wizards of the Coast, unquote, according to his own LinkedIn, indicates. In this interview, things like inclusivity and equity are discussed, as well as LGBTQ, disabled, BIPOC, and marginalized people in a way that makes it obvious that the people in charge of Dungeons & Dragons, the Wizards of the Coast people, focus on such things routinely. You would think that they would focus on things like, I don't know, making the game more fun, new worlds, suggesting adventures maybe, plots, not ruining it out of wokeness. But they're too focused on their, quote, convictions and ideologies of inclusivity, unquote, to foster fun. They spend resources removing terms like savage and dim-witted because it makes dim-witted people feel bad, for example. Because, as they say, they are committed to making it clearer that, quote, hate is not welcome, unquote, as far as they are concerned. Let's all applaud how good they are. Such virtuous people. Are they still allowed to pretend to use physical violence in the game? Tabby and I were talking about this last night. Like, okay, if they're gonna go this far, no hate speech, okay, well, can you growl at each other as you're fighting, maybe? Or is that too hateful? Or if verbal violence is not allowed, pretend verbal violence isn't allowed. Fantasy verbal violence is not allowed. Well, what about fantasy, pretend physical violence? Are you not allowed to swing swords at dragons anymore? Or what's going on here? So is fighting toxic masculinity now? Hi, YouTube won't let me upload videos longer than 15 minutes long unless I give them my private identification and telephone number, and I don't trust YouTube or Google, their parent company, because of what they've so far been caught doing. This 15-minute limit may change in the future, but at least for now you'll have to see my videos on alternate platforms. You'll also see the Culture War Encyclopedia website. See the link below for that. Thank you.